Ladies and gentlemen,
Let me tell you something right now, and I want you to hear me loud and clear. The truth about success isn't some hidden formula. It's not locked away in some vault that only a chosen few have the key to. No, the truth is 2% of people succeed because they are willing to do what 98% of people simply refuse to do. That's it. It ain't complicated, but it sure ain't easy either. Everybody wants to be successful. Ask anybody walking down the street what they want in life, and they'll tell you money, freedom, happiness, love, respect, comfort. But if everybody wants it, why don't they all have it? Because wanting is free, wanting don't cost nothing. Everybody can want, it's the doing that costs something. It's the sacrifice, the sleepless nights, the pain, the rejection, the doubt, the fear, the loss, the failure. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who dream about making it. See, most folks are in love with the idea of success. They love the shine, the spotlight, the applause, but they don't want to sweat for it. They don't want to bleed for it. They don't want to cry over it. They don't want to go through the nights where you're broke, hungry, and wondering if you made the biggest mistake of your life by chasing that dream. The 2%, they keep going anyway. Let me tell you what most people do. Most people get excited. They start something new, full of energy, full of hope. But the moment it gets hard, the moment something don't go their way, they fold. They throw in the towel. They start looking for someone to blame. Their boss, the government, the economy, their parents, their past, everybody but the person in the mirror. And when you live like that, when you point fingers and make excuses, you're signing a lifetime contract with failure. That's what 98% of people do. You know what else most people do? They wait. They wait for the right time. They wait for the right opportunity. They wait until they feel ready. Let me tell you something, the right time ain't coming. Opportunity don't knock, it whispers. And you'll never feel ready. Success demands that you move even when you're scared. It demands that you leap even when you don't know where you'll land. The 2%, they jump, they move, they take the shot, and they live with the results. Most folks spend their lives building someone else's dream. They go to jobs they hate, to please people they don't even like, just to pay bills that never end. And deep down they know they were meant for more. Deep down something inside them screams, you were born for greater. But they hush that voice. They silence it with distractions, television, gossip, partying, scrolling. They numb themselves because if they really listened to that voice, they'd have to face the truth that they're not living up to their potential. That's too painful for most people. So they sell, and that's what the 98% do. But the 2%, they listen to that voice. They don't ignore the call. They know they were created with purpose, on purpose. They don't let fear mute their mission. They don't run from their gift. They run toward it. Even when it's scary, even when they don't have all the answers, they understand that comfort is the enemy of greatness, and they refuse to be average. You see, the grind ain't sexy. Everybody wants to post success on social media, but nobody wants to show the struggle. The two, they live in the struggle. They embrace it. They know it's part of the process. While the 98% are sleeping in, the 2% are up at dawn, working on their craft, reading, studying, building, failing, fixing, trying again. They're consistent when nobody's watching. That's the difference. And let me break something else down for you. Success is lonely. Real success means you'll have to walk away from people. You'll outgrow folks. You'll lose friends. Not everybody's gonna clap for you. Not everybody's gonna understand you. That's why most people don't make it, because they need approval. They need validation. They don't want to be misunderstood. They want to be liked. But the 2%, they ain't worried about being liked. They're worried about being legendary. You know what separates the winners? Obsession. Pure, focused obsession. They think about their dream morning, noon, and night. They eat it, breathe it, sleep it. It becomes their identity. And while most people dabble in success, try it on like a jacket they might return, the 2% marry it. They commit to it for life. They go all in, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when they don't feel like it. Most people operate on emotion. They do what feels good, but success don't come from doing what feels good. It comes from doing what needs to be done. Discipline over desire, sacrifice over shortcut, vision over comfort. The 2% understand this. They do what's necessary, not what's easy. And because of that, they live lives most people only dream about. You want to know what else keeps people stuck? Their mindset. Most folks are carrying around limiting beliefs like a backpack full of bricks. I'm not smart enough. I wasn't born rich. People like me don't succeed. Lies. All of it. But they believe those lies, and because they believe them, they live them. Your mind is your master. If you don't control it, it will control you. The 2%, they rewire their thinking. They feed their mind like they feed their body daily. They guard their thoughts like treasure, because they know their thoughts shape their world. You think the 2% don't get scared? Of course they do. They feel fear. They face doubt, but they don't let it stop them. They move forward scared. They take action anyway. That's what courage is. It's not the absence of fear. It's moving despite it. And once you learn how to do that, you become dangerous, unstoppable. Most people are terrified of failure. They see it as the end. But the 2%, they see it as a beginning. They learn from it. They grow through it. They fail forward. You can't win without losing. You can't rise without falling. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than most people have even tried. That's the truth. But they kept swinging. They kept climbing. They kept showing up. You want to be part of that 2%. You've got to change your standards. Raise them. Raise how you talk to yourself. Raise what you expect from yourself. Stop tolerating mediocrity in your life. Stop hanging around people who don't push you. Stop wasting time on things that don't move you forward. Your future is too important to play small. The 2% know that. That's why they demand more from life, from themselves. And here's the real kicker. Most people don't even know what they want. That's the tragedy. They're out here living day by day, just reacting, waking up, going to work, coming home, watching TV, scrolling through their phones, falling asleep and repeating it all the next day, and they call that life. They never take time to define the vision. The 2%, they're crystal clear. They've painted the picture in their minds so vividly that you could see it if you closed your eyes and listened to them talk. They know exactly what they're chasing, and they go after it with tunnel vision. You ask the 98% what they want out of life, and you'll hear things like, I just want to be happy, or I just want a good job. That's vague. That's weak. That's why they don't get anywhere, because the universe doesn't respond to confusion. The 2% know how to get specific. They've written it down. They visualize it. They obsess over it. They say no to anything that doesn't align with that vision, and that's why they rise. Let me tell you about pain. Most people run from it. They see pain as punishment. They avoid it at all costs, but they understand pain is the price of transformation. Pain is the tuition you pay to evolve. They don't just go through pain. They grow through pain. While others break under pressure, they become diamonds. And let me tell you, the world don't hand out success. It demands proof that you're worthy, that you're ready, that you're serious. And that proof comes in the form of sacrifice and suffering. You don't just stumble into greatness. You earn it. Let's talk about distractions. You know what's killing more dreams than failure ever will? Distraction. Most people are distracted 24/7. Social media, gossip, other people's opinions, the news, nonsense. They can't stay focused for more than 5 minutes. And focus is power. If you can't lock in, you'll never break through. The 2% protect their focus like it's gold. They don't entertain drama. They don't waste time debating with people who ain't going anywhere. They're too busy building. They're too busy leveling up. If you're always available, always reachable, always scrolling, you ain't serious. The ones who make it, they disappear for a while. They go underground to build something unstoppable. Most folks are addicted to comfort. They don't want to be challenged. They don't want to be stretched. They just want to stay safe. But growth don't happen in safety. Comfort zones are graveyards for dreams. You weren't born to stay the same. You were born to evolve. And the process of evolution is uncomfortable. It hurts. It strips you of who you were to become who you're meant to be. The 2% lean into that. They don't pray for ease. They pray for strength. They don't ask for a lighter load. They ask for broader shoulders. Let me tell you something deep. Success is spiritual, not in a religious sense, but in a soul sense. It requires you to align your actions with your higher self. You gotta kill the old you, the lazy you, the fearful you, the small-minded you. You gotta bury those versions. Every day is a funeral for the person you used to be. That's why most people don't make it, because letting go of who you are feels like death. But the 2%, they die daily, and they're reborn stronger, wiser, sharper. Another reason most people never succeed, they care too much about what other people think. That alone is a death sentence to your dreams. You worried about who's watching, who's judging, who's laughing, and while you're worried, somebody else is out here working. Somebody else is ignoring the noise and putting in the rep. You think the 2% care if you laugh at them. They'll be the ones laughing last, the ones who make it. They understand that being misunderstood is part of the process. That ridicule is the tax you pay on the path to relevance. The 98% want guarantee. They want to know it's going to work before they even start. But life don't give out guarantees. It gives you chances. And if you don't take them, you miss them. That's it. The 2%, they bet on themselves. Even when the odds are low, even when nobody else believes. They step into the unknown. They plant the seed, water it, and have the faith to keep watering even when there's no sprout yet. That's how success works. It tests your faith before it reveals its fruits. Let me give it to you straight. You will be tested. Life will throw storms your way. People will betray you. You'll fail. You'll lose money. You'll lose sleep. You'll question everything. You'll want to quit. That's part of the journey. That's the price. And only the 2% are willing to pay it. The rest, they fold. They turn back. They say maybe this isn't for me. But the 2% say, this is exactly why it is for me. They push. They grind. They claw their way forward. It takes humility. Because you're going to suck at first. You're going to be bad before you're good. But most people don't want to look foolish. They don't want to start small. They want to skip steps. But the 2%, they're willing to be bad, willing to be a beginner, willing to learn, willing to be coached, willing to do the boring work that nobody wants to do. They understand the game, and because of that they win the game. Most people wait for motivation. They wait to feel inspired. That's backwards. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. The 2% show up regardless. They create momentum by moving, even when they're tired, even when they're uninspired, even when it's raining, even when their heart is broken, even when it doesn't make sense. That's what makes them unstoppable. You know what's rare? Accountability. Most folks blame, complain, and explain. But the 2%, they own it. Everything. The wins, the losses, the mess-ups, the missed shots. They never point fingers. They look inward. Because they know that as long as they're in control, nothing can stop them. When you take full responsibility for your life, you take back your power. And most people ain't ready for that kind of power. And let me drop this one on you. Success don't care about your feeling. It don't care if you're tired. It don't care if you had a rough childhood. It don't care if it's hard. It don't care if your friends don't support you. It don't care about your excuses. Success is cold, but it's also fair. It don't give handouts, but it will reward hustle. It will bow to grit. It will respond to hunger. And if you want it bad enough, it will move out the way. The 2% know this. That's why they don't whine. They work. Time, that's your most valuable currency. And most people spend it like it's free. Hours wasted on nonsense. Days wasted in dead-end situations. Years wasted in relationships that don't build. You don't get time back. Every second counts. The 2% guard their time. They schedule it. They invest it. They treat it like gold. Because they know that wasted time is the most expensive mistake you can make. You want to be the 2%, then you've got to decide right here, right now. No more playing small. No more excuses. No more waiting. No more needing approval. No more hoping. It's time to move. It's time to fight for your future like your life depends on it. Because it does. You get one shot, one life, one chance. And when you finally realize that, when you finally wake up and feel that fire in your soul, there'll be no stopping you. So now the choice is yours. You can keep living like the 98%, making excuses, blaming the world, hiding behind fear, scrolling through dreams you'll never chase. Or you can rise up right now and decide that you were born to be the exception, that you were never meant to fit in, because you were built to stand out. You've got the fire, you've got the gift, but none of it matters if you don't move. So stand up, lock in, and give this life everything you've got. Because the 2% aren't lucky, they're relentless. And after today, if you truly heard what's been said, you'll never be the same again. Now go out there and take what's already yours. Not because it's easy, but because you refuse to live average.